Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and wherever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Space Institute. Today, teaching goes back into bringing many things together and at the same time bringing the knowledge in one way or another, the physical side and the energy side together. Today, we try to explain for you to understand why we are doing the presentation in Iran, where at the same time we are pushing forward with the teaching of development of transmutation. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard about Bimya Biscotti, where a man is transmitted from or transferred from ship to the place destination. It's not a Bimya Biscotti, it's transmute my soul, that my physicality take the shape and the position of the place and time. Transmutation is not for man from earth to go anywhere. If you are in position in the universe, could be on a craft, could be on any system of transmutation and transportation, you want to transmute to a position. The teaching, the knowledge is there for it to be done. Transmutation is not for man today to go from A to B on earth. You are on a planet, you are in a ship, you are on a position that you decide, instead of going physically, I transfer. There is a lot of advantages with a spaceship to transmute. You don't need to enter the atmospheric condition. You don't need to risk to go through all sorts of hassles of landing. You transfer is to the limitation of the physicality of the dimension of the position of the place, which means you stay outside the Earth atmosphere and then you transmute. But the knowledge of the man has reached a point that you don't need to transmute a person. And I said many times, many lessons teaching before, when you make a cup, that cup has a soul. You can transmute vehicles, you can transmute systems. The landing and shuttling is a dimension of present physical understanding. And that's why we make movies about it, we talk about it that way, because we have never had a comprehension that we can transmute anything at any time. And how we can, in Iran, we'll show you the flight system. Transfer. Hopefully by that time we request from the American government to allow the landing of the ship from Iran in New York or Washington. Most probably with American passengers. At the same time, later on in 2025, when we manifest ourselves, when we be present in Washington, we will bring in the position of the transmutation into play. Transfer and transmutation. In the second part of today's teaching, I'll open a wonderful news to you. And it's on the back of the knowledge seekers, how you support it and how you bring it to be. But understanding the totality, understanding how we can transfer, transmute as we like. This is the key and success to a permanent travel, permanent residence in the space for man or any other living entity in the universe. Where you cannot manifest yourself in the dimension of your physicality, you take the shape of the position. You're a man, you fall in the sea, in the ocean, and you die because you have not learned to switch to transmutation and transmute yourself to a fish. You don't need to go at a point of the universe to learn this. You are the man. You want to go into the depth of the earth to find out how it works. You don't need to read how ants and worms colonize or live. You transmute into that dimension. Many of you in the last week on Friday tried many dimensions, from the tree to stone. Some of you transmuted and transferred into a fish. Some of you felt different time and positions. So now it's becoming a norm for you. You understand, you have the capability, and gradually in the coming months, before Tehran conference, before Iran conference, we'll bring in to a position that transportation, transmutation will start becoming part of your life before we arrive in Iran. The new age of new science has arrived. And we want the knowledge seekers to be part of it. If you remember in 2014, 2015, when we did the Tesla 129, we left it open for you, everybody else to come in to see, to watch, to monitor. People from Western Europe handed over to the Eastern, the Americans took over when it was nighttime, then the other side, the Chinese monitored, and we went around the clock 24 hours a day as the numbers build up, as we achieved to show the power of the plasma, magnetic field in motion, energy, is not dependent on matter state, but it depends how you play with the fields of the universe. Matter state has a limitation. Matter state has a condition that it cannot surpass, is a condition of environment. In the matter state, inertia. Many of you, you seen this, who did the test, many of you who did the, what we call the dynamic systems, observe after certain speed, certain field creation, the motor stops. But whatever you do with it, it doesn't stop, it doesn't need to, it's not burnt, it's there, but the plasma saturation field of the soul of the system has taken over physicality. That's why it cannot operate, because it goes through the soul of the matter state of every element in that motor. You have seen the power of plasma, many of you who did many tests, in how the matter state does not count anymore, because the plasma energy dimension of the fields of the universe is much stronger than the matter state, because in the stepping down in the strength, in the inner shells, this is what you receive. I've explained this many times in the teaching. You get an onion, a very big onion, and start taking layers by layers off. You see the outer layer is much softer. It's not so firm. You can easily break into it. The next layer is slightly tighter until you go to the center, where the field the strength is tight, the structure is very tight and very small. When you look at a plasma, you look at the structure of such a thing. The center is tighter, harder, and in the plasma dimension, much stronger and much strength. The outer layers are much looser. They have grown up into a universe. The layers underneath are different galaxies, different layers of it, and different construction of it. When man becomes wise to the knowledge of the creation, to the science of understanding the operation of the energy, he will see something which has never seen before. And today, cosmologists don't even understand this. They see it, but they don't understand it. The universe of the man is like an atom. It has a single structure neutron in the middle, or a proton you call it, which is amalgamation of many energy fields. And according to that structure in the center, in the atomic structure, we call it the rings. You have different electrons on different rings, a number of electrons in different orbits. The structure of the universe, the structure of the unicos, the structure of the whole totality of life in the universe cannot be any different. So when we look at the structure of the universe, our universe, for example, we see a central seed, we see a proton, we see an amalgamation of fields which make that central line. And with it, the structure is the same. The orbits and the galaxies are positioned in different orbits according to their strength. We call them S-ring and the rest of it in the world of the nuclear and atomic. The universe, the unicos, has the same structure. There are galaxies, and there are gaps between the galaxies according to the field strength they have in what orbit in the sphere of the universe they possess. This is one of the reasons that I've said many times before, plutonium, uranium, and the rest of the fancy atoms we consider in the matter state of the knowledge of the man is nothing compared to atomic structure of the universe. Today's nuclear physicists, we talk about so many electrons. Totality of it, giving atomic number and atomic mass and everything else to it. The same applies to our universe. This is why man will find out when we become a traveler of the space, it needs different field energy strength to go from one layer to another, from one onion ring to another. There are different orbits in the cosmology of the universe. It's not so easy to cross. It's not so easy to jump from one to another. We have to use so much energy to get outside the orbit of the Earth and use so much to get into it. It's the same with the orbits of the universe. It's the same with the orbits of the matter state atomic structure. There cannot be any difference in the world of creation unless man, due to the lack of his understanding, creates excuses and assumptions the way Einstein did to mess everything up. What is macro is in micro, and what is in micro is in macro, because they're all created through the same process. interaction of the fields is not a Ford car or a BMW manufactured in different part of the world, and one is this and one is that. Magnetic fields interact in the same way, does not matter where in the universe. And then man needs to understand this in how to transmute across these lines and how to transfer within the lines. Understanding of this, and if our scientists become wise to the knowledge of the creation, the way it actually is and not the way they imagine it to make it, mankind will become a true traveler of space. Understanding how to cross these borders, how to go through this imaginary magnetic field rotation that creates and allows condition of rotation. Why we have electron and why we have positrons and why we see galaxies behaving like positron and some behaving like electrons. Why do we see a cluster of what we call matter states in the shape of galaxies all behave collectively as a positron energy fields in the center of atomic ring of the universe? Why and how mankind will understand this will allow man to break through the knowledge of the universe, to become the true traveler. How to see the structure as it is and not make structure as he thinks it is, because then it makes him famous. It brings in the knowledge of creation. It brings the true understanding of the process of creation. And this is where, as knowledge seekers, we have the responsibility to understand this, to be able to transmute, to be able to transfer, to be able to become energy without either one. Where transfer is the book number 1, when transmutation is book number 3, when the light is going from one to another. And if you understand this, and if your knowledge seekers bring in that breakthrough, cross the limitation which the present science through fallacies of other scientists have created in the mind of the man, then the humanity is ready to become part of the universal community. But the problem is not just for man. The whole of the universal community is going through the same commotion as the man at the same time. As they're learning what you are learning, as the knowledge of creation is waved across the universe, is not the intelligence for man anymore, is understanding and intellectual right of the whole created things within the dimension of the universe. This is why we call universal teachers. You sit in a class, you teach a number of the children in the classroom, but there are other students who are sick at home. They learn on the internet, they are part of the class, which is tradition now today. So is the same with the man, the earth, and the universal community. But this time we use the line of universal communication to reach the soul of the created, the student outside, where the classroom is today here on earth. The knowledge will become so that is not exclusivity of man, that when man comes to the universal community, as I said many times before, he is equal. Because man will become arrogant that the technology, the knowledge of creation, the understanding of totality came from earth, and he sees himself above, where he has to be humble. understanding the knowledge of creation, understanding the structure of the creation, understanding the process of interaction of the fields of the universe is not the exclusivity of one race, but is belong to the whole of created. This way, as I said before, a new race created in another position and dimension universe does not need to go through the whole evolution of the time and the pain of the man, but he'll be educated to the final point from the fields of the universe that he doesn't need school, does not need to kill, does not need to get sick, but has the knowledge of the existence from the universe and not from his place and position of manifestation. In the last Friday session, as we promised, the daughter of Mita manifested among us in one of the sessions only. And those who felt it, they came in touch with the soul. And in that group, a few felt, and we did not say which group. In the writing, we understood they've been touched. We monitored on a physical dimension of systems. We monitored on a what we call energy system, and all matches the presence, which means the knowledge of the universe can be reaching anyone at any point at a time of the manifestation. Shall not be exclusivity, but it has to be understood. Inclusivity means including all the knowledge, not what suits. When we say no one will be hired at the time when the man becomes a member of the open member of the universal community, is that the man does not become arrogant that we were the people who were given the knowledge, but you actually the only few who attend the classroom, the rest are at home learning the voice, the emotion of the knowledge. In the coming weeks and months, you will understand these teachings, you understand what it means, you understand how things will take shape. In Iran, we show the manifestation of the transmutation, which means how we create structure out of nothing. As I said in the teaching many times before, with the present understanding of the technology, there is no need for aircraft hangars to build the aircraft. You create the craft from the fields of the universe, and you travel within the structure of the physicality of it, if need be, but you use the soul of the system to connect and transmute from, to, and back to. What this means, the new flight systems, which will come into operation, and you will see the manifestation of this physicality in Iran, will come from nowhere, from the fields of the universe, converts into the matter state system, can fly in the dimension of matter, collectively, as many people as they like to travel with it. And at the point of transportation and arrival, you manifest yourself in the dimension of transmutation. There are no doors in these spaceships. Because if you understood the transmutation, there is no need for a door, as you can transmute through the wall, through the field strength of the system. In Iran, we'll show a revolution in science and technology that man has never seen. Creation of the matter state from the empty space of the universe fields of energy. Go back to the presentation I had when I opened the box, the empty box of the universe. will come with an empty box, and through it will manifest the creation of the craft. And as I said, we invite you all to be part of this in the second part of today. Collectively, you will understand the change. And we are preparing the ground for the presentation in the city of Isfahan, where we show the revolution and evolution in the world of science, that no nation has superiority over the others, and they have to find a solution for. Where aircraft carriers will be abandoned, where the fighter planes has no room to fly except for toys, where the mankind will find solution in a very rapid way to stop the mayhem he has created for himself, the superiority of his knowledge, as this knowledge will be given to every nation at the same time. That there is no superiority. Nuclear weapons will be made obsolete through the advancement in technology, through understanding evolution in the science, transfer of the energy as magnetic field in motion and not as a source or connection to the mass in the matter state. If you understood atomic structure, position of electrons, how they are connected, the reason they take different position in the ring of the atomic structure, and why how many per each ring, and it's the same for if you are a gold, plutonium, uranium, or any others. You can't cram 3 electrons in the inner ring, and you cannot put 25 electrons in the second ring. Every atom has the same structure. So shall be the structure of the universe of the man. And man has to understand this. Understand the gap between the galaxies and the way they interact. The presence of what we call trinity systems, and understanding of the magnetic field interaction. Understanding why and how these fields and their interaction leads to creation of positioning, magnetic field positioning, magnetic positioning, and then to understand the totality. Once the scientists of the man start looking into the structure of the atomic field combination and not matter state of it, then they will understand a simple point, that you translate this language of knowledge into the dimension of the orbital motion of the matter state of the universe, or you work with the energy fields of the universe, where the matter states fly, move, in a way live within these orbits. There is a difference between the atomic structure motion and a plasmatic field motion. And where these hit, it creates dimension of the motion of the electrons. Today's scientists have not even understood this part. Unpredictability of an electron motion in the rings of an atom is not only magnetic positioning, but is the field plasma radiation of the structure of the atom itself too. It takes two to tango. It's not just how that electron positions itself with its center, but what fields of the center touch that electromagnetic plasmatic fields, that they create a dimension and diversion in its motion. This is why man has not managed to predict the next point of an electron motion in atomic structure, because they have not understood the center of magnetic field, which radiates like a spiral, goes from one spiral to another. Is literally is like a monkey jumping from one wire to another, up and down, according to the field strength, according to the strength of the motion in respect to its dimension. Why do we get what we call atomic decay or nuclear decay? Where does it come from? Because it comes through interaction of the fields from the inner plasma field strength, and nothing to do in a way with the electrons or the protons or amalgamation of what is in the nucleus. Because collectively they interact with each other, and collectively they create that field. That the interaction dictates the position of the electrons within that structure of atomic structure. Man's knowledge of atomic structure and the fields is half-cooked, because he has understood only half of it. He has not understood the totality of it. It's very much like a wheat and a mass. And then what comes after the wheat? What is the effect of inertia on the totalities? Man only looks at the atomic structure in a simple way because he hasn't understood the complicated system that this atomic structure lives on, created out of, and holds position into. In time, this world of science has to look into atomic structure of the universe to be able to transfer and transmute within it. You're on one layer of the onion, you need to transmute to the next one. Transfer is impossible. And when our scientists understand this, then you understand the process of creation of the fields, energy, interaction of them, and through them, the creation of what we call the magnetic field. The star formation was given to you, but you never understood the principle of his work. The understanding of the process and the creation of the plasma. In the coming time, we revisit the star formation, and we hope the American scientist who put the patent in will understand it, and he gets his Nobel Prize. And through that process, we come to bring man to the next step of evolution. 2024 is the year of evolution in science, technology, and peace on this planet. And with it will come. And the next process is to start the next step. You have to understand that the process of creation, the process of understanding in creating anything in the universe follows the same principle. And if you don't understand it, you get in the dogmas of today with man, technology, and science, and everything else. Then you have to imagine, make up, and falsify everything to fit the short-mindedness of the man and his scientists, because this is how it works. Do we need to create, to show, to confirm, or do we need to confirm to those who are short-minded that what we show is correct, that they have to understand that they might accept, and then it becomes their knowledge, and they are the Nobel Prize winners, as we call it. Nobel Prize should be for every man for himself in achieving to understand the process of the creation. That's noble. This is unique, and once you understand it, you have reached the ultimate goal. Understanding the process of the transmutation, understanding the process of the transfer, is the only way man will get out of this planet. Man will become a citizen of the universe. Man will reach to the position that needs nothing to be proud of, but to be part of. No superiority and no killing. And everything is moving in that direction. And it's time to reach that point. It's time to bring the whole world to see, to understand the evolution in science, and then start from scratch, that the man understands that no one needs to kill, no one needs to live a harsh life, no one needs to get sick, no one needs, and many other needs. As in the dimension of the universal community, every need of the created are met by the creator to survive and to have all the attributes of his creation. We go for a break and we come back. And I hope today you understood a little bit more about who you are, where you are, and you're in one of the orbits of the creator, and which layer of the onion you're sitting in.